Alright guys, before we get into the video, I want to tell you guys to join the crusade today. Get awesome perks and rewards. Get access to discounts on the website. Don't forget to check out our website down below as well. Get access to awesome products and sometimes some members-only products. But if you guys want to support the channel, check out that website. Get some awesome gear, awesome merch. It goes a long way. Huge shout out again, and let's get into the video. What's good, guys? Charles from Team COG coming at you guys here with an Infernoble test hand. I know a few people commented asking to see some test hands, and to be quite honest with you guys, there's not a lot of videos out there for Infernoble like test hands on YouTube, which is very interesting considering how great or how powerful this deck truly is. It's just there's not a lot of there's just not. I don't know why it is. The best channel you can find is like Aether Gaming and Pack, but like even then they don't like do a lot of test hands. If you guys want to watch like test hands, like in the sense you have to watch Pack's live streams where he plays the deck live, so it's not really test hands, it's more like live action, which is alright, but I figured I'd go ahead and do a test hand video because a few people had requested. Before I jump into it, remember guys, I do not like to play VFD. The Very Fun Dragon can stay away from. If I wanted to play that, I'd play Virtuals. Instead, my goal is to end on like Charles, Harold, Savage, Gearfried consistently, and that's what this list does. There has been some minor changes to the list, which I will touch base on if they come up, but for the most part, nothing really has changed. I do have another box tournament coming up potentially this Saturday, and I hopefully will be taking this there. I'm choosing to go play in the box tournament because it's in real life play versus actually playing in the remote duel extravaganza, which I really wanted to play, but sometimes just playing the actual game is, you know, worth it more. But anyway guys, let's go ahead and jump into this test hand video. We'll go ahead and shuffle up here, and then we'll go ahead and get it going. Okay guys, here we go. We're gonna do a quick cut and see your top fives. Hopefully, I remember the last time I said this deck was really consistent, I ended up drawing Coltwing. So let's hopefully see we don't open Coltwing. But we're gonna see DDR, Neospace, and Ash Blossom, Renaud, and Living Fossil. So again, this actually is a pretty decent hand, to be honest with you. We're still gonna be able to combo through. I did incorporate hand traps now, at least just 3 Ash Blossoms because it's the universally like the best generic hand trap, and I needed to have like a better side deck. I was normally playing all gas, no hand traps, because I wanted to be able to, I felt like this deck could play, you know, play very well going second without hand traps. However, watching and like learning the deck a little bit better, the deck space, like you just need, so you have 1 and 2 card combo, so like the other 3 or 4 cards in your hand really can be hand traps, and that's what, you know, for that odd chance of you going second, you wanted to have that. But we're going to go ahead and play the hand, you know, so we're going to go ahead and activate, or not activate, we're going to normal summon Neospace Aqua Dolphin, use its effect pitching the Renaud from our hand to look at our opponent's hand, see if they have any hand traps. So we're going to assume they do, so we're going to hit 1 card out of their hand, and this will be our tracker here for how many times we can hand loop our opponent. But we're then going to fire off Living Fossil to bring out the Renaud, and then we're just going to go ahead and Renaud will get banished because Living Fossil, make our first Isolde. Now we've looked at our opponent's hand, we can definitely decide if we want to add, etc. But I'm going to go ahead and add because we've seen our opponent's hand. We know that they don't, if they have Ash, we ripped it from them, etc., etc. So we're just going to go ahead and add Red Layer. I always like going for Red Layer because it's just easy pitchable, an easy pitchable card. We're going to then use Isolde's effect to summon out Gimba by sending to the graveyard DDR and Phoenix Blade. There we go. Then we go up into here. Hopefully in this like test hand, I'll be able to get Coltwing and show you guys how to combo with Coltwing. I've done a bunch of test hands where I open Coltwing and you can still just end on like Charles Harold a lot of the times with opening Coltwing. And then if you happen to open Gearfried or, you know, something like that, you can do like Charles Harold Gearfried with opening the Coltwing. It's just that good, you know, it's like the deck's just crazy. We summon not the Auroradon. Whoa, we're skipping steps here. We summon out Hulk. Halifibrax. Hulk will then summon from the deck our Despot 001, wherever it may be. There it is. We then just turn these 2 into the Auroradon, which of course should be right here. Auroradon then gives us 3 tokens. There we go. My 3 Fate tokens. And then Despot triggers, summon itself. I personally, in this build that I like, I feel like Power Tool's not a bad card as like people would believe, because even like if they did have like I just don't think it's that bad of a card. But we summon Power Tool, use Power Tool's effect. We would reveal 3 cards to them, but normally you reveal the Living Fossil, but since we already used it, we got to use reveal three Durandal, which I think is the appropriate card to reveal personally. Just to show you guys that they are 3 Durandal in the deck. There you go. Reveal 3. Opponent gives us 1. There we go. We then use a Auroradon to sack off the power tool and the token to bring out our Coltwing, the brick of the deck. Wherever it may be. There we go. Coltwing will then summon out here and here. So now, let's see here. Now we can go ahead and activate Durandal, equipping to whatever we want. Send Durandal to add ourselves Oliver. Now, we need to get a level 5 out, so we're going to banish Gimba and banish... Excuse me, I skipped a step. The power, there we go. Despot comes back out. Totally forgot that. Got sidetracked. So Despot's out. We then banish Gimba and the Aqua Dolphin for Divine Sword. And then we can go ahead and turn Despot and a token into Balmug, which will go right here. Then we can activate DDR, pitching Phoenix Blade, summoning out the Gimba in attack mode. We then turn the token and Gimba into Roland Vanguard, I believe is his. No, excuse me, that's his OCG name. Infernoble Knight Captain Roland. Use Roland's effect. Turn these two into Charles, myself, which will come down here. There we go. Then we can banish, because we're running kind of low on warriors because of how our hand was, to get Phoenix Blade. Let's see here. We then will equip Phoenix Blade to Balmug. Charles's effect will trigger, popping the Balmug, destroying it, sending this to the grave, triggering, and then Balmug's effect will summon back the Coltwing, summoning out here and here, triggering Despot. See, good thing we remembered this time. And then we go here, synchroing for another Synchro 4, which is going to be a Herald. Now, for me, guys, personally, the combo is just kind of self-explanatory after this point. Truly it is. You can pitch here, and you're going to summon here, and you can end up using this and this and making a Savage here, or you can use these two here to, if you don't want this token to stay out, you can just use Oliver and the token to make a Crystron Hulk. I have not figured out what to play in this scenario, but this is the closest thing that I can come to. I will then synchro here because Quandax is a tuner, and we're going to go ahead and make that Savage over here, wherever you truly want it, and then Savage will equip Crystron Hulk Firex. And then before we go to end phase, I'm very bad at this. We got to remember to equip Oliver here to the Charles, and then end phase Roland's effect will activate. We will send a equip spell, which will be the Metal Silver Armor, to add us a Fire Warrior, which will add Gearfried. And then Charles's effect in the end phase will pick up the armor and then equip from the deck and Oliver. So now what we have right here, which is, in my opinion, is, I like this a lot better than just ending on Very Fun Dragon, but that's just me personally, is we have a Charles which cannot be destroyed by card effects, and on top of that, we have an entire board that cannot be targeted by card effects. And the reason that is because Metal Silver Armor is equipped to Charles. Metal Silver Armor says that your opponent can only target Charles with card effects, and then Oliver says that your opponent cannot target Charles with card effects. So nothing on the board can be targeted with card effects. They cannot droplets us. We wouldn't lose hard to a Dark Ruler no more, but if they got it, they got it. Not much we can do. Our follow-up for the next turn is pretty solid with a Gearfried touching down, and then we also have Ash Blossom in our hand that we were able to hold on to the entire time, which means that we have, for the lack of better terms, 4 forms of interaction, because Charles will actually be able to pop a card thanks to Roland. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty solid. That was pretty good. And that hand, as you guys saw, that hand was not the best, and even on top of that, we were going to be able to see our opponent's hand and rip any sort of problematic hand trap they could have had, which is really cool. But let's go ahead and jump on into the next one. We will go ahead and play as if they have a hand trap, and we'll just see the best way to play and the correct way to play if they do happen to have a hand trap. Okay, guys, we're going to do a quick cut. There we go. And we're going to play as though they have a hand trap, and let's go ahead and go. So immediately, we're already playing through a hand trap, all right, but perfectly open Coltwing. So that's actually, this is going to be really cool going to showcase you guys how to play through opening Coltwing, which is going to be kind of nice. So we're going to go ahead and special summon out the red layer. And this hand's actually really jacked, I'm not going to lie, because like immediately we can just kind of like make a Zold without normal summoning, which is extremely crazy. But we're going to go ahead and we're just going to hold the Fire Flint Lady. And we're going to go ahead and normal summon Connector. Connector will summon out Aqua Dolphin, and then we can use the Aqua Dolphin, pitching the Coltwing, and we're going to go ahead and rip one card from their hand. So we're going to rip one hand trap. Now here is something also to kind of keep in mind in a way, is that we have heritage. So like we actually, even if they do happen to have like the rock, we're still going to be able to force the rock on our terms, which is actually quite crazy. Because right here, if they do have the rock, we can go Heritage of the Chalice, add ourselves. So you can add Renaud, but Renaud's, I wouldn't add Renaud right now because we're not going to get full value. Add here, and then this is 3 summons. We can just pitch this, summon here, and right here we can make Herald on our 4th summon, and Herald will be our 5th summon, stopping the rock. That's just how crazy this deck truly is. But again, we're going to try and rip our opponent for as many cards as we possibly can. So assuming that's how you play through the rock. If they open like 2 Ash Ogre, maybe Ash Veiler, Ash Droll, etc., you can just do this way. Because this deck only loses to Infirm. That's really 100%, guys. That's what happens here. You've seen your opponent's hand, so you're going to go ahead and if you know they have the Droll, it's not going to be wise to add here. So just don't do it. You probably rip the Droll at the beginning, but they happen to open 2. Just pitch the Fire Flint Lady and trigger this, because even if you add Oliver off of this, you're going to be able to get the Phoenix Blade back to your hand. So just play smart, guys. Think your combos through. But we're going to go ahead and add ourselves a red layer because we want to. Free discard fodder is always nice. We'll then use Connector's effect, Tribute itself, to summon back the Dolphin. We'll pitch right there to rip 2 cards from our opponent's hand. Now at this point, we're probably going to start going after combo pieces. If they had 1 hand trap, you're going after a combo piece on the second. If they had 2 hand traps, if we're able to rip any more cards, we're going after combo pieces, which is going to be awesome. Isolde's effect, you're going to send DDR and the Phoenix Blade to summon out Gimba. Gimba and Isolde will turn into a Hulk. We just got to remember that we are playing without Coltwing because we did open it. Hulk's effect, summon out the Despot. And so now here, this is where, things can get pretty interesting by opening it. We can, and I say we can, go here into Barricade Board Blocker, but we are missing the Coltwing. So we might want to keep this extra Dolphin on here just for an extra body to be able to synchro and play around with. But we're going to turn the Hulk and the Despot into a Rorodon, which is going to give us 3 tokens, and the Despot's going to come back. We're going to turn 2 tokens, and that Despot is going to make a Power Tool Dragon, which this is why I believe that I don't agree when people say like Power Tool Dragon is bad. Like you lose to so many hand traps. We actually have the ability to rip hand traps, and truly I tell you, we have the ability to play around such powerful hand traps. It's just crazy that people think that way. I guess they just play. It's better to play more simple than playing, I guess, that way. But Power Tool Dragon will activate its effect, giving us Living Fossil. If you guys haven't noticed, if they did have Droll, you did not even have to add off the Isolde. You could completely avoid that all the way up to this point, and you're still fine. To a point, because we did have Heritage, we could fire off Heritage. I totally forgot about this. I totally spaced it. But if they did have Droll here, we'd definitely rip it out of their... Droll would be ripped out of their hand regardless. There is no argument or debate over that. Unless they open 3 Droll, in which case they didn't open too great either. You can at least beat them by opening the 3 Droll. So anyway, we're going to go here, add ourselves Living Fossil. We got to remember that we do not have access to the Coltwing, which I almost forgot. So I think the smart plan to do is to go Living Fossil, bring back Gimba. We will then use Gimba and the Aqua Dolphin to make Roland. We'll activate Roland's effect. Now we'll go ahead and activate Chalice, grabbing us a Renaud. There we go. So, let's see here. Let's go ahead and banish here and here to add back the Phoenix Blade. We will then special Renaud, add back DDR. Here's our hand. Renaud and Power Tool will turn into our Synchro 8. Now, see, this is where things just kind of change and you can do whatever you want. So we can make Savage, which is probably the play that I would do, right? You can make Savage and then you have a board. Their opponent is at 3 cards in their hand, but if you wanted to play another way, you could do Omega and still end on like Omega. You could rip 4 cards from your opponent's hand and then still end on a Savage. Like, it just depends really what you want, because what you'll do is if you go this route, which I'll showcase you guys both, right? You go Omega, banish the Omega to banish a card. You then use DDR, pitching the sword to summon back Omega, banish Omega, getting rid of 4 cards from their hand. And then these two, this is 3 and 5, you're 8, you make Savage that way. That is what you can do that way. And then you end up ripping your opponent for 2 additional cards, and then they only have 2 cards to play with, and you're negating one of them for sure. But so far we've got them at 2 cards down. But what we're going to do is we're going to play it the right way, or the safe way, in my opinion. Because if your opponent happens to draw like busted, it's going to be kind of hard to beat them in that way. So we're going to go ahead and equip ourselves Hulk here. And then we'll go and activate DDR, pitching here to summon back the Connector and attack. Then these guys right here will make ourselves Charles. There we go. Make ourselves Charles. And there we kind of are. It'd be kind of nice if this right here was Oliver. We could put a Herald on top of this too, and that would be with opening Coltwing. That's how crazy this is. But during the end phase, Roland is going to activate. We are going to Foolish Burial. Well, first off, we'll just get there. We're going to add Gearfried, but first we're going to send Metal Silver Armor. Charles's effect is going to activate, equipping armor, and then we can equip Oliver here as well. Or if you really fear like Lightning Storm or something, you can equip Ogier, but we'll just go ahead and equip Oliver right there. And there we go. Yeah, so even with opening the Coltwing, we were still able to do 2 different options. But as you guys saw, we were able to either rip our opponent for 4 cards and end on a Savage, or we're able to rip our opponent's 2 cards and end on a Charles, and a Savage in our board is untargetable, which is crazy considering that we opened the brick. So yeah, the follow-up is going to be really strong because Gearfried is going to come down. This token I really don't think will survive, to be honest with you. But if it does, it does. But yeah, Gearfried will touch down. We're drawing a card for turn, which is Connector, which is not too bad, to be honest with you, because if your opponent still does have cards in hand, you can normal Connector, tribute it, summon back the Dolphin, pitch the Flint Lady, and then rip another card from their hand. But right now, like this is pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Like the follow-up was crazy just with opening Coltwing. So let's just go ahead and jump into a 3rd and final test hand. And yeah, okay guys, 3rd and final test hand. We're going to do a quick cut and draw our first 5 cards, which we're going to see is Rhoda, Aqua Dolphin, Neospace Connector, Divine Sword, and Neospace Connector. So what a awful hand. I would say like it's pretty bad. Like this is definitely not the best, but we're going to make do with it with what we can. So Rhoda, now we can go ahead and we won't use Rhoda because we want to avoid hand traps, but we'll go ahead and normal summon Connector, attempt to use Connector's effect. So if they happen to hit us here with any sort of hand trap, we can Rhoda for Fire Flint Lady, continue on. Or we can Rhoda for Oliver and continue on. But assuming that they, I don't know. To me, I feel like this is a trap, like this card they have to use their hand trapped on. So if they happen to hit us with a hand trap, this would be the place to do it, because if they don't, we can summon the Dolphin from our hand because we're that good and we opened it. And then we can pitch Phoenix Blade to see their hand and rip a card from their hand. Preferably a hand trap, of course. But that is something to consider. If they do hand trap us here, Connector has done its job. We can just Rhoda for Fire Flint Lady, Special Flint Lady, make Isolde, combo off. But we'll go here. Anyway, pitch Phoenix Blade. Then we will... honestly, we can still rip him 2 more cards. Let's see here. Let's get greedy. Let's reinforce the army for Flint Lady. We should probably, because we've seen their hand. Best scenario, if you know what their hand is, road it for the appropriate thing, whether it be Renaud, Oliver, Ogier, whatever. Even though Ogier is not that important right now, just be smart with your plays. But we're playing that we saw our opponent's hand, and we're going to be greedy and rip them for some more cards. We're going to go ahead and special summon the Flint Lady, and then we're going to go ahead and go here for a Isolde. But this is kind of good because we're going to showcase where this hand will showcase what happens when you don't open no fire extenders in your hand. So we know what their hand looks like, so it justifies us to add a card that we can pitch, which of course we will add ourselves. The pitchable card that I like is Red Layer. We will then use Connector's Effect, pitch itself to summon back out the Aqua Dolphin. Sid Red Layer, you got him down 2 cards. We're doing good. We'll then use Isolde's Effect, sending these 2 to summon out Gimba. Wherever, well, there's Gimba. Oh, we have, whoop, see, that was close. We'll go ahead and send Durandal. There we go. They turn these guys right here into a Hulk, which of course is standard procedure. The Isolde and all the plays prior to Isolde is just to bait the hand trap, so Hulk will successfully resolve. I truly tell you guys, I do not know what to do if your Hulk gets hand trapped. If your Hulk gets hand trapped, I guess we just cry because like we don't really have any sort of follow-up. We just pass, which is not the most honorable or powerful thing to do, but it is what it is, and it is Yu-Gi-Oh, so it is likely to happen. But like I said, we know what their hand is, so we do have the ability to play with that. You know what I'm saying? We have the ability to kind of play around that type of thing. In most hands, not this hand. This hand was just really bad. I think this is one of the hands where we need the space to make Balmug. So we're just going to go ahead and make Barricade Board Blocker. Turn these guys here into our big silly plane, which is going to bring down 3 tokens. And this is where the Auroradon and Hulk combo just kind of carry the rest of the deck in the way. Since we don't have no sort of fire extenders, this is where they just alone will carry everything. We're going to go ahead and make ourselves Power Tool. There we go. Power Tool will then reveal 3 Living Fossil to our opponent, and we add 1. There we go. Big Silly Plane tributes the Power Tool and the token to get us out Coltwing. There he is. So there our Coltwing comes down, summoning out 2, triggering the Despot. Despot will then take these guys here and become Balmug. There we go. Fun fact for all my non-Fate fans, Gearfried here, his sword's name is called Balmug, which is cool in the Fate series. We'll then go ahead and activate Living Fossil, bringing back Gimba. Gimba and the token become Roland, which I hope to get my OTS Super here soon. Roland's effect. You then turn Roland and Charles into the me in anime form. We then can, there's multiple ways we can do here. We can use Roland equipped here, Charles pop. You can go that route if you don't want to banish cards, but I'm fine with banishing because we did open a plethora of fire warriors, or just warriors in general. We'll go ahead and equip Phoenix Blade to Balmug, Charles effect to pop Balmug. That goes graveyard. Balmug's effect to summon out the Coltwing. We then get 2 tokens, and then we get to summon out the Despot. And sadly, to be honest with you guys, considering how bad we did open, we're only going to be able to get to a Herald, I believe. We're going to get the Herald, and then I do believe you could use these 3 to, to fusion summon into a Trishula if you really wanted to, and then you would still have Trishula Herald. But since we are not Trishula, VFD and Herald, if you really want to, because you could overlay, but I don't play that variant. So right now, currently, with that out of a hand, this is what our ending board is. It's not, I would not say it's awful. I definitely would say, like, I do see the reason why people play VFD, because it's something to make. Maybe in the future, I will incorporate Trishula. Even after VFD is gone, I will still incorporate the Trishula, because you do get to randomly banish cards on your opponent's side of the field, which, can come up. You can banish that top deck, you can banish a card in their extra deck. But until then, this is kind of like what we have in that opening hand. Of course, we don't have any ability to equip. Yeah, we don't have nothing. So in phase, Roland will activate. Roland is going to dump us the metal silver armor, which will then in return add us a gear free, which is one of our best follow-ups we have. They are right next to each other, and then still in the same interface, Charles will grab the armor and then equip YuGiOh here. So yeah, there we go. That'll do it for these test 10 guys. If you guys have any comments or concerns, maybe you guys know a different play you can do with these cards that I don't know with the hand that I had. I just had connector. Please comment down below. I'll take all sort of positive criticism and constructive criticism that is out there. But please remember, guys, stay safe. Send me your energy for the box tournament this Saturday. And this is, without further ado, Charles from Team COG signing out.